When you think about the biggest threats to your investments, what pops into your head? You're probably thinking about market crashes, right? Or inflation, maybe even high fees. And look, those are all totally valid concerns. But today, we're going to talk about something else. A threat that's a lot quieter, way more relentless, and honestly, for a lot of people, a lot more destructive. It's what I call the silent killer of your savings. Just look at this number, negative 62%. That is not a typo. A study from SEI found that a portfolio could lose up to 62% of its total value to taxes over 40 years. Let that sink in. That's almost 2/3 of your potential wealth. Just gone. Not because you picked a bad stock, but because of taxes you might not even know you're paying. The stakes here are absolutely massive. So what is this invisible force that can quietly drain your long-term gains? It's not some new fee your advisor just tacked on, no. This is something that's baked right into the investment system itself, and it's working against you year after year, often without you even noticing a thing. All right, so let's pull back the curtain. It's time to put a name to this hidden enemy and figure out exactly how it operates. And here it is. The culprit's name is tax drag. Basically, it's the hit your returns take from all the different taxes on your investments. But here's the really important part. Unlike a management fee, tax drag is money that is permanently ripped out of your portfolio. It's gone. It can never be reinvested, and it can never, ever compound for you again.
So how can we actually measure this damage? Well, the key number to look for is the tax cost ratio. This tells you exactly what percentage of your yearly return just vanished because of taxes. So for example, if a fund has a 2% tax cost ratio, it means you lost 2% of your investment value to taxes that year. It's a direct report card on how tax inefficient your fund is. And if you thought that was frustrating, wait till you hear this. It's a little something called phantom income. This is when your mutual fund manager sells stocks inside the fund, which creates a capital gain. By law, they have to pass that gain on to you, the shareholder. The result? You get a tax bill for a sale you never made. You didn't touch a thing, you didn't sell a single share, but you still have to write a check to the taxman. It's maddening.
So now that we've identified the killer, let's really quantify the damage. You're about to see how a couple of percentage points of tax drag can explode into life-altering amounts of lost money over time.
This quote from attorney James Burns just hits the nail on the head. He calls it a compounding predator, and that's exactly what it is. Think about it. Every single dollar you pay in taxes today is a dollar that's no longer working for you. The real damage isn't just that $1, it's the tens or hundreds of dollars in growth you miss out on over the next 20 or 30 years.
And this chart shows you exactly what that looks like in the real world. You start with 100 grand in 2 different funds. Fast forward 10 years, thanks to lower tax drag, the ETF portfolio ends up with over $30,000 more than the mutual fund. That's the same market, the same time period, but a wildly different outcome, all because of tax efficiency.
Okay, this case study is a real eye-opener. On the surface, the mutual fund looks like the winner, right? It had a higher pre-tax return of 16.8%. But after taxes kick in, that return drops all the way down to 13.5%. The ETF, even with a slightly lower pre-tax return, ends up giving the investor 15.4% after taxes. So what does that mean in real dollars? It means if you put $1 million in what looked like the better fund, you would have ended up with over $635,000 less. That is a staggering difference.
So you're probably asking, how is this possible? Why is there such a massive gap, especially between mutual funds and ETFs? Well, let's dig into the killer's methods to see how your portfolio is being forced to pay up.
This chart pretty much says it all. In 2024, a whopping 80% of U.S. stock mutual funds handed their investors a tax bill for capital gains. And for ETFs, that number was just 5%. It's not even close. This structural difference in how these funds work is one of the biggest reasons for that tax drag we've been talking about. And here is the absolute craziest part. As SEI points out, you can get a tax bill even when your investment loses money. Think about 2008. The market absolutely cratered. The S&P 500 was down 37%. You'd think there's no way you'd owe taxes, right? Wrong. That year, the average U.S. equity fund still hit its investors with a 3% capital gains distribution. You lost a third of your money, and you still had to write a check to the IRS. It's just unbelievable.
Okay, I know, after all that bad news, it's easy to feel a little defeated. But here's the good news. Once you understand the enemy, you can actually fight back. So this is your survival guide.
This is how we deal with tax drag. The antidote, the weapon you use, is something called tax alpha. Morningstar defines it as the extra return you get just by being smart with your taxes. This isn't about some risky strategy or trying to time the market. Nope. It's just about setting up your investments in a way that lets you keep more of the money you've already made. So, how do you get this tax alpha? Let's run through 4 key tools. First, deliberate turnover. It's a fancy way of saying stop trading so much. If you hold an investment for more than a year, you usually get a much lower tax rate. Easy win. Second, asset location. This is just about putting the right stuff in the right place. Think about it. You put your ice cream in the freezer, not the pantry. Same idea here. Put your tax-heavy investments, like some bond funds, inside a tax-protected account like an IRA. Third is loss harvesting. This actually lets you turn a market downturn into an advantage. You can sell some investments that are down, which creates a loss on paper. Then you can use that loss to cancel out gains from your winners, which lowers your tax bill. And finally, plan your withdrawals. This is super important for retirement. You want to time your sales for years when your income is lower. Be strategic about when you take the money out. It's all about playing smarter, not just harder. So all of these strategies, they really point to a major shift in how you should look at things. It's about completely reframing your investment philosophy around one simple, powerful idea. And it all comes down to this. The headline return, that big flashy number, it doesn't mean anything if you can't keep it. The only number that truly matters is your after-tax return. That's the real money, the money that stays in your pocket to spend, to reinvest, to live on. That is the true measure of your success. Which leaves us with one last big question you really need to ask yourself. After all the hard work, all the saving, all the smart choices you've made, who is really getting the biggest benefit from your portfolio's growth? Are your investments compounding for you or for the tax man?